All right, everyone, welcome to the November Viirtue webinar. We're going to go over some exciting new products and offerings from Xima Contact Center, which is a bolt-on integration for a really robust contact center offering. I won't really spoil that show. I'll let John from Xima show you how that works today, as well as we're joined by Darren Knapp and Lee Marlowe from Poly, who are going to go over a lot of the really cool new Poly work from home products that are obviously really popular with everything that's going on in today's world. But before we get there, just a couple quick Viirtue announcements. And actually, I just do want to take a step back. Again, I think we're going to be on a little bit of a time crunch today. So we want to make sure that we do get all this content to you guys. So if you have any questions, please definitely pop them into the questions chat. We'll try and answer them as we go. If we don't have time, though, the team from Poly or the team from Xima, depending on your questions, we'll reach out to you guys directly to answer any questions you might have. So first, just a little teaser for December. We're going to have a company we recently partnered with called Nearlinks join us to talk about their help desk as a service offering for our service providers. We've been drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit. They're helping cover us, which leads to our next bullet point here. For after-hours support for our Tier 1. So you might have noticed now we increased our Tier 1 support hours till 8 p.m. Eastern. We're actually going to be increasing that, so it's going to be full 24/7, 365 coverage, and that's thanks to the team over there at Nearlinks. So we've been really highly impressed with how they've been handling our support requests, so we're excited to introduce them to you guys. So if you do want to have them as an option, whether it's overflow for your team, whatever it is, they have a really nice product for you guys. Additionally, we also added a bunch of new marketing material to the Vibe platform. There's about 3 or 4 new customizable pieces of content in there that you can get out to your clients, as well as Poly has a few pieces of marketing material you're able to download with their work from home products that they'll talk to you about today. And then that intercom bot that we talked about on the October webinar, that's just about ready for production. So if you do want to enable that on your account, please contact your account manager so we can get you that information. And then also wanted to share with you guys that the invoicing module for Vibe is still definitely on target. So we're ready to start gauging interest, whoever would like to be on the 1.0 or the beta for that first release. So if you do want to be on that first version, please let your rep know so we can get that information over to our engineering team and we can get you on that beta list. But without further ado, I'm going to pass the reins on over here to John. And John, I notice now you're logged in here twice, so hopefully I send it over to the right one. Let me know if you're...
Yeah, it's me.
Cool. All right, perfect.
Perfect. Appreciate that and appreciate the opportunity to present to everyone today. As mentioned, my name is John Florence. Go ahead and turn my webcam on so you can see, put a face with the name. Home office worker, pretty standard for the norm, and that's why the CCaaS solution makes sense. So I'm going to be presenting to you today. It'll be brief, so if you want more information, I'm going to show you how you can get more information about that. But I'm going to start with who is Xima, because Xima might be a new name to many of you, but it's not a new company, it's not a new solution. The company was started back in 2010. Back then, everything was primarily CPE or on-premise equipment. So it's been working with on-premise going back really the last 10 plus years, and over the past few has been migrating to the cloud, and that is specifically what our CCaaS solution is. It is in the cloud. We'll talk about that here in the next slide. But one thing I want to point out was the company was started by former telecom partners. It's actually a pretty unique and a pretty big deal because we spent a great deal of time with the software, and you'll see that today, making the interface easy to use, making doing business with Xima easy, because we understand what it's like to come from the partner perspective. You're dealing with the customers, you're the face to the customers. We want to have a good partnership, easy transition when you're working with us. The headquarters is located in Salt Lake City, Utah. Just to kind of emphasize, it's maybe a new name to you, but not, and maybe new to Viirtue and NetSapiens, but it's not a new product. Currently today, there's currently 1.4 million active seats worldwide. You can find out more information about us at ximasoftware.com or Xima Cloud if you want to see more specifically about the cloud product, but you can get to both from both websites. Okay, so what is Xima CCaaS? What is it I'm going to show you today? I have a few slides, and then we're going to do a live demonstration so you can see exactly what is Xima CCaaS, what it has to offer your customers. First, it is a service. It is provided as a service. There's no software download that you as the partner, the customer has to use. They're just going to access the instance from a web page, and we host our software in Google Cloud, specifically Google Kubernetes, which I believe is the same for Viirtue. The Xima CCaaS lays on top of Viirtue. What I mean by that is the Viirtue users or subscribers, or think of it as the extensions, any one of them can become contact center agents. And I'll show you how easy that is, because it's actually a pretty unique position when it comes to CCaaS or other contact center solutions. Oftentimes they take over the call. You have to use their soft phone. They have to have their own license in our system. You don't have to worry about that with Xima CCaaS. They can utilize the same hard phones or soft phones that they're using today on the Viirtue platform. So whichever device that is, they can utilize that same device and take contact center calls, internal calls, direct calls, all from a single phone device. This solution is also scalable, meaning it can be sold to any size of customer. You have a customer that just needs one voice agent, 2 agents. Web chat is one of the channels we're going to talk about. Up to hundreds or thousands can scale with the customer as they grow or as they go down, because the licenses are also concurrent. So you may have a customer with 30 agents, but only 15 are logged in at the same time. You only need 15 agent licenses. Now, what are those agent licenses? You have voice agents and web chat agents. Now, with the voice agent, this is your enhanced routing options that you have outside of maybe through the Viirtue platform. Different skills-based routing algorithms. It also includes queue callback, sometimes known as callback assist. On top of that, in the single pane of glass for the agents, they can also access web chats. Okay, it's an optional add-on. Some customers just want to do voice. Maybe they want to do voice and web chats. Additional channels such as email will be coming in 2021. Now, the key differentiators besides our integration is our reporting tools. You have cradle to grave reporting on the contact center and those agents. It includes standard and custom reports. So there's over 40 standard reports to select from, but they can easily edit or create their own. They can also do the same thing in the real-time wallboards. We have a number of templates which we found to fit most standards, but every customer is unique. So they can edit and customize the wallboards, the KPIs, the values, the layouts to fit their business needs. And you'll see how customizable those are today. You have the web-based tool for the agents. So agents, regardless if they're a home office worker, they're a road warrior, they're in the office, they're just going to go to a web URL to log in to make themselves available for contact center calls. And then it will start routing those contact center calls to, again, whichever device they're using on the Viirtue platform. Okay, the supervisor tools allow supervisors to control who's logged into the skills. They can add agents in real time to those skills, log them out in real time, put them in a do not disturb state, whatever it is they need to do. Okay, now here is a high-level overview of how this works, because this is actually very unique, okay, when related to other contact center services. Call's going to come into Viirtue, that Viirtue cloud. If it needs to go to Xima CCaaS, all it's going to do is ring or call a virtual handset, which is registered on the Viirtue platform. That virtual handset is, in essence, our contact center. It can handle an unlimited amount of calls. It's going to queue those calls. At the same time, the Xima CCaaS service running in Google Kubernetes is using the SIP subscribe from Viirtue to determine the status of the agents. Are they logged in? Are they logged out? And if agents are available, it's going to route the calls over to those agents. If they're not available, it's going to present you queue messages, estimated wait time, queue position, custom queue announcements, that queue callback, overflow to other queues, overflow to a voicemail box, whatever it is you want it and how you want it to route. But again, the agents could be using the Viirtue or NetSapiens app. A big presence of Xima software has been Avaya. Avaya is doing a lot of changes. This you probably know from a partner perspective. Some of you may be former Avaya partners. All of the J series phones are supported as from the contact center as well as on Viirtue. That's also, if you're not an Avaya partner, you could go target those customers. Hey, bring your Avaya J series phone with you. They will work with Viirtue and Xima CCaaS. Or other SIP phones, such as Poly, just to name one. They're on here with us. Or Viirtue soft phone. So it doesn't matter the device type that the agents are using. They're going to use the same device for contact center calls as well as their office communication, direct calls. Okay, now that is pretty unique. Why that is unique? First, it is a single uniform dial plan. When you look at Xima CCaaS and compare it to other contact center solutions, they're going to ask you questions like how many minutes are you going to use? Because they take over the call. They act as a CLEP. So they're now in control of the call, which often means you have to use their supported devices, their soft phone. You don't have to worry about that with Xima CCaaS or additional toll charges. Whatever is coming with the Viirtue platform, that's all you need to worry about. It also provides a single agent phone device. The agents can use whatever device they're comfortable using today. They don't have to manage a soft phone for the contact center and a physical phone for the office, or two different soft phones, just one device. Internal calls between agents and office staff are supported. Sometimes that can become a networking nightmare. Again, technically this call never leaves the Viirtue platform. It's just ringing a phone and then transferring over to other agents. Those agents need to transfer that contact center call over to a UC user, just an office worker. They just transfer it like they normally do. And again, it layers on top. So every Viirtue seat can be licensed with a Xima CCaaS seat. So any user on Viirtue could become a Xima contact center agent. Okay, now this is where I want you to see, rather than me spend a lot of slides, that's really it for the slides. I want to show you the UI, which includes the skills, the setup, the IVR options, because the IVR options are also unique. You have that queue callback, web chat. You have the reporting and wallboards. Again, there's a lot of different solutions with reporting and wallboards. Where Xima CCaaS thrives is the flexibility and customization, the ease of use. You have that supervisor view as well as the contact center agent client. So let me show you what I mean here so you can kind of put a visual with it. So here is that web login. I'm currently on the reports option, but here if I expand, you can see your different menu options such as user management, licensing your users. It's going to pull over all of these users from your Viirtue instance. I happen to be in a lab in here, so there's not many, but it automatically pulls all of those users. So you want to license a user with Xima CCaaS, it's just as simple as putting them in a checkbox. You then need to add them to a skill group. You have your different skills. You can manage your skills, different options in there, or they're different skill levels. Add them to a different skill group, filter by skills, how many max simultaneous sessions can they have for chat. Maybe this agent's really good and they can handle 6 web chats at the same time. We'll put them as part of a chat for that skill group. Or there's the target platform. We're not going to get technical today, how it integrates, again, that SIP extension. But here you have your IVR options. And I want to stress the IVR. There's a lot of different IVRs out there. But I want you to think of your customers. How many times have maybe they asked you, hey, do you have a system that can report on what happened in my IVR? What menu option they selected or what call flow they went through? Xima CCaaS will provide the ability to report on all of those different options. What was the customer experience? Did they hit the holiday condition? Did they route based off of time of day? Did they route based off of the dial number or the caller ID? Did they route based off of a database dip or dial any extension at any time? What are the different transfer options? And because it's just layering on top of Viirtue, when it goes to a transfer action, well, it can go to those sub menus. So we can report on those. So this is also a great solution if a customer needs post-call surveys. Very easy to build those out and then report on them. Or I want to transfer over to those skill groups or directly into the queue callback. Maybe I'm using the Viirtue basic ACD groups, but if they get busy, overflow straight into a Xima CCaaS queue callback option. Or to any dialable number. Oh, I can ring any extension on that Viirtue platform, or I want to ring an offsite answering service. I can transfer it to there. Again, any number that can be dialed from Viirtue can be dialed from Xima CCaaS. Now, ultimately, once you have your call flow set up, they're going to go into the skills, which is going to present the options. That's when the supervisors, well, that's the agent tool. We'll come back to that. That's where the supervisors may want to monitor that in real time. Build their real-time wallboards to display, again, virtually any value they want to see in real time. I've been logged into that for a while. You can monitor your calls, your web chats all on the same screen. Any chats waiting, you can throw that into a full screen mode where it rotates between the other wall boards. You don't like these values? You can adjust them. Oh, I'm not maybe using web chat, or maybe all I'm using is web chat. I want to get rid of the call options, or maybe I want to put my KPIs in here. Okay, what values do you want? There are over 70 different values for you to select from. Okay, well, I'm looking for, our speed of answer. All right, what do you want to apply? You want to just use the default definition, or do you want to apply additional criteria? Speed of answer from a particular customer or from a particular DID. We'll just go ahead and do that one speed of answer. Oh, 3 seconds. Okay, does that meet our KPIs? Does it not? Maybe I want to put a threshold on here where it changes colors, plays audible alarms, or, if I have too many calls waiting or too many web chats waiting, send me an email, send me a text. You can set additional alerts and triggers for your different values. Okay, if you want to build a wallboard from scratch, you can do that, or you can select, as I mentioned, from any of the wallboard templates. And let me just show you how easy it is to build one from a template. You saw how easy it was to license your agents. Just select what agents you want. And if you're a big customer, you can break those out into departments or roles. We'll go ahead and just select all. And then what skill groups do I want to see? Here's all my different skill groups. Let's go ahead and look at customer service. This one's showing just voice, calls in queue, any calls in a queue callback, and the status of all my different agents. Which ones are on do not disturb, who's on the phone. So yeah, currently I have no agents available. Luckily, I don't have any calls in queue. If I wanted to change that, I could come over here to my supervisor view. Maybe one of these agents isn't supposed to be on that do not disturb state, or maybe they are supposed to be in that do not disturb state. It's the end of their shift. You have that call control. I can put Jeffrey here into a do not disturb state. I just logged him out. Or maybe I want to take Courtney off of that do not disturb state. I can do that if I so desire. I can also log her into her different skill groups. Oh, she's not logged into any skills. She logged into web chat. We have a lot of chats going on right now. Oh, she's not. I can log her into a chat channel from here. If I had any calls in queue right here, I could view those callers, the customer details for all my different skills, transfer them over to available agents that maybe aren't even in the skill. Just as long as they're a contact center agent, I can transfer them from this web interface. Now, all of these real-time displays can also be shared with the agent in what we call our contact center agent tool. Here you can see I shared just that standard wallboard there. That's one of the templates. When calls or web chats are presented to the agent, they're just going to pop up on their screen, this single pane of glass, and they can accept those web chats. You can have it auto respond, or we can go ahead and just say hello here. I can select from templates, canned messages or responses that I want to respond to this chat, or I can request a screenshot, or maybe based off this need, maybe I'm not the right agent for that. I want to transfer those details, or here comes a call. I can handle those calls and web chats all from the same interface. And when I finish that call, it's going to put me in my after call work state. If I miss that call, I can have it auto log me out of my skill groups, or it can put me into a missed call work timer. And of course, that value can be adjusted as well. Okay, now what can I do during my after call work state? Well, we're inside the embedded client. So that means maybe I want to request a little more time here. I can come in here and do notes. Maybe I'm going to put something like a demo. And then maybe I want to tag some account codes. Sometimes these are referred to as call activity codes, disposition codes, subject matter codes. This is a customizable list on a per agent basis. Maybe I now need to go back to my web chat and I need to transfer that over to an agent. If you transfer to an agent or a skill, all of the previous chat text will transfer over to that agent. Now this is the agent interface. Just due to time, I'll just show you a couple of customers. You can customize the chat to your color scheme. What is it you want to say? This particular customer just said, let's chat. You want to chat? Sure. What if no agents are logged in? Or I want to change the language. Oh, here I don't have any agents available. Click here to send us an email. And you can determine what to do of that chat based off of the different page. Here I just went to this page. They hid the chat tool. Go back to another page. Shows the chat option again. So you can determine based off different pages in your website what that looks like, what the text is said, what language it's in. You can customize all of that. Now back to the supervisor tool. You of course have historical reports on all of this as well. I want to see my agent call and chat performance summary. That's all on a single report. Total number of contact center calls broken out by the groups. How much time they logged in on do not disturb. How many chats have they accepted? How much time have they spent on the chat? Oh, I want to send this to my boss. Well, I can download this in 5 different formats: PDF, JSON, CSV, Excel spreadsheet, or HTML. What format do I want that? Or maybe I don't even want to download it. I just want to schedule it to run automatically. You can schedule all of the reports. You can star the reports as your favorites. With Xima CCaaS, you get unlimited logins, as many supervisor logins as you want. There's not a charge for those, and you can restrict their access. So maybe when they run a report, they only see their group or departments, whether it be abandoned calls like this, or their agents, or maybe a call volume report. I really like call volume reports for service level type reporting, or just to know, when am I the busiest? When is that queue callback being used? How successful is it being? And again, what hours out of the day is that showing up? Or maybe I don't like this format of hours out of the day. I want to reconfigure that to show it by days of the week. Reapply. Again, very easy to adjust the reports. That's really what I want you to see, because that's what customers see. Now I can see that. Oh, let's look at that by days of the week. Again, I'm running it for this week here, so hence why no Friday. Now the other aspect or tool they get is cradle to grave. This is where if they want to drill into, again, those different IVR options, or what was said on the chat, what happened historically on the chat or in the queue callback. It's just like running a report. Select your date and time, hit apply. You can apply filters to look for particular skills or cues or values or customer numbers. I can zoom in here so it's a little easier for you to see. There you can see every single detail, and if it went to sub-menu IVRs, what menu options did they select? You're going to see all of those different options. You'll see that for all of your contact center calls. You'll see all of that for your queue callback calls. What happens when we tried to call them back? Oh, they snoozed it. They're saying we never called them back. Oh yeah, they snoozed it. So we're going to call them back a little bit later. Or here I have one that was accepted. Oh yeah, we called them back. Looks like you only waited 6 seconds and it got transferred over to Trevor, extension 1634. Again, Trevor just being an extension on Viirtue that has a Xima CCaaS agent license. You also have cradle to grave on the web chat. How long did they wait on the website? 13 seconds. Oh, they got routed over to Justin. It'll report if agents missed the chat. What did they chat about? Well, we can pop that chat text out. Did we ever transfer the chat? Or did we request screenshots? You're going to see those cradle to grave details as well, all in the interface. And again, on the reports level, if you want to run reports just on chats, you can do that just on queue callbacks. You can do that just on specific group or skill calls, volume. Again, lots of different types of reports. I'm coming up close on my time here. So that is a very high level overview. One thing I did fail to mention, rather than using this embedded tool, maybe you want to screen pop to a third-party CRM such as Salesforce, Zoho, Zendesk, and Microsoft Dynamics. We have those API integrations already completed for you. So you just very easy, plug and play. Okay, so last couple things. We wanted to price this out very competitive for you in the market. So we wanted to have a price that was competitive, very affordable, that allows you to win with no obstacles, hence the concurrent licenses, so it can really fit any customer's needs based off how many people they have logged in simultaneously. We wanted the pricing to still be competitive, but at the same time give you the desired margins. Okay, here you can make anywhere from 35 up to 45% on every license key, and all in with Xima voice and web chat. MSRP would be $70 for those 2 channels. List price. A lot of the other CCaaS competitors I've seen in the market start at $85 just for voice and go up from there. And then sometimes I see they give their partners 20% of that. So even with a slightly lower price, you can make more money. Now, we are working with Viirtue and getting it integrated into their tool, but for the time being, you can sign up at Xima.cloud. When you sign up, that will enroll you into the partner program where there's additional benefits as well. It also gets you connected with the Xima team. You have dedicated resources, regardless of where you are located throughout the world, that are there to help with demonstrations, quotes, proposals, technical questions of how it integrates into the Viirtue platform. What do I need in the Viirtue platform? That's the nice thing. Really, it's just configuring a SIP user on Viirtue, which you all probably already know how to do that. It's the same idea, just like any other user, and we'll help you get that registered. We do offer those deployment services, also very affordable. So you can really sell this turnkey, or you can be as involved as you like. Some of the partners we work with, they want to help with that project management and implementation. So they don't use our professional services team. We have technical training to train you up on how to implement. Again, as soon as you spin up the instance, you'll get a URL that you can connect your platform to. But we can help with that as well. With that, again, I want to leave enough time for the other presenter. I know we don't really have time for questions at this, but I will end with, again, you can come to ximasoftware.com. There it is. You can sign up for a reseller, learn more about our solution. You can go to specifically to Xima.cloud, request a more enhanced demo if you want to see that. There we have our chat tool going. So we use our own product. That's a good sign. I've seen some that maybe don't. And then become a reseller if you want to do that. Perfect. With that, Dan, I'll go ahead and turn that back over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, John. And just for you folks that haven't seen Xima yet, I'm familiar with them for quite some time. They really do have a great product. So, obviously we have our built-in contact center, but when you guys work with a lot of the larger contact center teams, and Darren, as I'm talking, I'm passing control over to you. You'll see that the Xima product, especially with the cradle to grave reporting and the web chat, will really help you guys win in those scenarios, especially if you're going up against like a 5.9 or one of those players. But without further ado, I know Darren has had some presence already before with our community, so hand it right on over to you, Darren.
Hey gang, really good to be here, and appreciate the presentation from John too. It's just cool to see how all these technologies have come together and how there's just so much to offer the clients, and what a time. We're going to be talking about work from home, and I can't think of anything more important too than to have contact center at home. I mean, it's such a big deal right now, something that we're dealing with as well. So listen, I'm going to fire hose you guys. I got a lot of stuff to show you, but my name is Darren Knapp. I'm the Director of Sales for the Service Provider team. Our mission in life is really just to help make you successful. It's a partner-led organization. If you're not successful, we can't sell our stuff. So anything we can do to help you grow and succeed in the market, definitely want you to come to us and let us know about that. So let's jump in. Just in case you missed the memo, Plantronics bought Polycom. The two companies now together are Poly. So that's the new brand name of the company. And really, it's kind of cool. It's a techie's dream come true, right? We've got all the equipment from the telephony side and the headsets and all that together. $2 billion companies now together as one powerhouse in the industry. And this is kind of what it looks like here. If you'll look on the left, some phones and headsets and things that you might use on a personal level. And then on the right, some group video and audio devices. But the thing you may not know about Poly is that we've got something in the middle that we're going to talk about today, as well as the devices, and that is we've got free device management for service providers and Viirtue partners, and we've also got device as a service. And so those are really important, and I'm going to show you why as we talk about the whole work from home scenario. Got ahead of myself. Unless you've been under a rock, work from home has been everywhere. You could read till the end of time articles on work from home right now, and you're seeing this, right? It's could this be the new normal, working from home? There's certain companies that are being panned for not offering work from home, and so it's becoming such a big deal. And as a community of service providers, we've got to be thinking about how do we serve our customers best. And one of the things that we saw when we talked to Nemerides, one of the analysts that we work with, is this pie chart's really interesting. 13% of businesses and employees said they won't continue to work from home. So just 13%, we're absolutely not going to do that, which really leaves the rest of the pie chart saying either we're not sure, or we're pretty sure, or we're definitely working from home. And so the net of it is that about 70% of businesses that can work from home will continue to work from home after this. And that's a huge shift from before. You're going from maybe 100 million to there's now about 1 billion work from home people in the globe. So it's really changed. And that's what Nemerity says, what Poly is seeing. So I work with service providers, everybody from the big, huge partners, your Verizons and Ring Centrals and all, to hundreds of service providers across the nation. And I even cover Latin America. So we're talking to all the service providers, and here's kind of what we're hearing from them is that the customer wants work from home solutions. Pretty obvious, right? The other one that may not be so obvious is that the cash flow for businesses is a real issue right now. And so cash flow and liquidity is a big concern. The other one is home networks are a real mess. I mean, I've got a pretty strong home network, but even for me right now, I've got 40 devices. I've got 4 kids and they each have a gazillion devices. And so the home network can become pretty crazy at times. And so the question that the clients are asking is this: how can you help me? Right? They're coming to us as a group of service providers and saying, look, this is a real problem that's been thrown on us in short time. What can you do to help me? So what we're going to talk about today is really how we're responding. And I want to show you kind of where we're missing the mark, and then hopefully drive us home to how things could be done better. So today, the analysts are telling us, hey, there's 1 billion people working from home. It's gonna taper off once we can go back to the office, but there's still gonna be over 300 million people working from home after the pandemic's over. And the demand for things like pro headsets and video cameras and things like that has really exploded. The end customers are telling us, hey, help us, right? I'm getting video fatigue, Zoom fatigue you hear about, and we need better cameras, we need better headsets, dogs barking, babies crying, all that kind of stuff. But then what we're doing as a service provider team, our sales reps are out there in the street saying, you know what, I know you're asking me for these things, but I'm just going to refer you to Amazon to go kind of best effort, go find what you can. And worse yet, the leadership and service providers are saying, you know what, I don't want to be in the headset business and all that kind of stuff. Just send them a compatibility guide and let them figure it out. And the bottom line is there's a big disparity between what the analysts say the market's doing, what the customer's asking us for, and then what we're doing as service providers. So I didn't let you know this in the introduction, but I come from a service provider space. I was with a service provider from 2000 to 2012 before I joined Polycom, and was one of the folks who ran the operations and the support and the installation. So I know that even back then, customers were asking us for these things. And here we are today during a pandemic, and we're still telling them go to Amazon. So there's a big disconnect there. So what are those challenges? Again, noise and distractions, and these are kind of obvious, but these are real problems. I can't be heard, the video calling fatigue, I've got app incompatibility. I plug my headset into one thing and then I launch another app, and then all of a sudden my headset's not working. And then I look terrible on video. I get this all the time. Cash flow and liquidity, this is the one where you maybe haven't thought of as much, but a lot of companies are really suffering right now. They have lost revenue. They're not sure when this is going to be over. They're hearing about multiple waves and so on. And then their debt is skyrocketing. And so their whole concept right now is, how do I manage cash? And then last, we talked about the home networks. And here again, this is the obvious thing, right? I don't have enough bandwidth. My firewall's got different settings that are disabling my voice over IP and my unified communications. I've got duplicate IP addresses on my network. There's all these different things that can happen. behind that home network. So what's Poly doing about it? And this is where I want to focus, is what can we as a company do to help you succeed in the market? So let's go same thing. Let's look at it first, noise and distractions. This is where we shine, right? We create devices that elevate experience, right? We've got the headsets and the speaker phones. We've got the desktop phones, right? That can be set up at home just like it is in the office. So my experience can be identical regardless of where I'm sitting. USB cameras to elevate that experience. My camera on my $2,000 laptop is horrendous. So being able to actually have a decent camera that I can put up on top of a monitor that has a slightly more flattering view of me than looking up my nose hairs. And then I want to say this a couple of times, because the number one thing I hear from our service providers is, hey, I don't want to support headsets. I just don't want to be in that business. And so I'm going to highlight it here. I'm going to highlight it again in a minute. You don't have to support headsets. Poly will take your end customer calls for headset related issues. We'll even RMA headsets. So if something's under warranty, we'll send out a replacement for you. You don't have to be involved with that. On the cash flow and liquidity side, what we're doing as a device as a service. So this is not a device as a service to your customer. This is a device as a service to you, so that you can offer OpEx to your customer. So this is device as a service. We also have a leasing option, and then we add in full coverage warranties, so that if the device does go bad in 2 years, you're not left holding the bag. You just get a swap out next day replacement. And then on the networking side of it, probably didn't think of us for this, but we have free device management capabilities that we give to all of our partners to be able to get into the phones remotely and troubleshoot. So these are our cloud tools and analytics that are going to help you succeed out there and troubleshoot and lower your mean time to repair. So let's look at these one by one. Challenge one, employee productivity and satisfaction, right? What's working for our service providers? It's bundling all these things together and creating these little kits that you can take home, and then you sound as good, if not better, working from home as you did when you were in the office. So here's a quick glance at what we've got, right? These are the devices that make all the magic happen. You got the headsets. On the hands-free, we've got conference phones and portable speaker phones with battery powered. And then we've got our desk phones that you probably know from the Polycom era. These are new though. You maybe don't recognize some of these. And then we've got personal video devices that, again, elevate that experience, give you a better look and feel for what's going on. And again, I'm just going to stress it again. These are available to you right now. So as a Poly partner, you can go to distribution, you can order headsets at a wholesale rate, and you don't have to support the headsets. We're going to take that call for you from your end customer and troubleshoot all those headset issues for you. Oops. One thing that I can't really show over this webinar, but I'm going to leave behind, we're going to mail this to you, make this available to you, is there are a lot of demos online available on YouTube to see just how amazing the noise reduction capabilities are with our headsets. And so here's some links, and what I would say is you can be out on the street, on a busy street while it's raining and windy, and you can be heard clearly with our headsets, because we have multiple microphones. They listen to the ambient noise. They do things like wind cancellation, noise cancellation, and so on. So please, once you get this, go check out some of those demos. But just as a quick glance, we've got a lot of different options in the headset space. And what I would tell you is they're kind of listed in a good, better, best scenario. So if you're the type of provider that's just, hey, we do creme de la creme, nothing but the best will do, you just go to the right here and look at the right column and say, these are the best options that we can offer from a wired standpoint and wireless standpoint over the ear or in the ear. And then kind of the middle of the road, and then sort of your more entry level. But these are the different devices that you're going to be able to send with your customers working from home. From a hands-free perspective, we just lowered the price dramatically, like by over $100. This week, we've lowered the prices on our Trio conference phones. So my challenge to you is go to your distributor and go get a reprice on all of our Trio phones, And the reason we did that is we want you to be able to send these to folks to work from home that want a full hands-free solution that can still do extension dialing and have that experience. So Trio, brand new pricing. The other one is we just introduced Poly Sync, and so this is a battery-powered, basically a Bluetooth or USB-powered device that you can connect to your laptop and your cell phone, and then you can work hands-free. And it sounds amazing also on music. But right now, just the smallest of these is available. We're going to be releasing the rest of them as we go over the next few months. But the Sync 20, the smallest one, is available today. I've got it, I've checked it out, I've listened to it. It sounds really amazing, and it's really affordable as well. The other one is the phones, and they're such a no-brainer. If I've got a phone in the office, we've got phones that are so very sensibly priced that you could send another home, or heck, they could just pick up the phone that they've got in the office, and then you can bring it home and plug it in and start working from home just like you were in the office. You may not be familiar with this line, but this is we call it the X50 series. It's the third in the VVX line of phones that we've released. But look at that, color gig E with a USB port. That first one, the VVX 250, is under $100. So for an under $100 device that gives great, I mean great noise cancellation, reliability, audio quality, plus you can stick the Wi-Fi dongle in there and you don't even need cabling. So for under $100, there's a great phone for you for work from home. We just introduced the CCX line. So if you've got a customer that's got Teams, you can use CCX for Teams. The other thing to know about CCX is we're going to be coming out with the Open SIP with the NetSapiens platform. So it'll work Open SIP with Viirtue as well. So you'll be able to use that and connect it to your Viirtue line as well. Acoustic fence, when you get this presentation, just go click on a couple of these demos and hear how amazing the noise cancellation is. If I pick up the handset or I put on a headset and connect it to the phone, nothing beats it as far as noise cancellation. Also have a great wireless unit. The standalone VVX D230 is a deck-based solution. So I put it on my desk and I can walk all over the house, anywhere in the house, and this is going to be a really awesome solution there. Another one you may not have thought of is ATA. So terminal adapters, they can plug any phone in and get dial tone. So you send one of these devices, they're around $50 or less. It's got a built-in router, or you can run it in pass-through mode, but you could actually set this up and say, look, whatever you're using at home, you can use that as your remote office phone. And we're just going to send you this little device, you plug it in. You can also plug a Wi-Fi adapter into it, so they don't even need cabling. They could put it anywhere in their house and run a standard Walmart phone and be up and running. So that's the OB302 ATA. From a cameras perspective, we've got 3 flavors of USB cameras. One is the Eagle Eye Mini. Again, here's a link so you can go check it out on YouTube. Very affordable, and it's going to make that experience so much better. The Eagle Eye Cube is the one that I'm using. It runs in a couple modes. I can run it in static mode. I can set the framing exactly the way I want it. I can also have it in follow me mode. So if I'm the type of person that likes to walk around the office and go to the whiteboard, this will actually track me as I move around. Really cool camera that you just plug and play. You plug it into your computer and you're up and running on it. And you can set it up on top of your monitor and it works phenomenally well. And then if you really want to go to the highest level, you can go to the Poly Studio. And what's cool about this is the speakers and the microphones are all included. Now, the other cool thing about this is that this is going like gangbusters for us in education space. So what's happening is this comes with a credenza mount. I can actually sit it on a student's desk. So think of your classroom situation, your front row of students, you leave one desk open, you put one of these cameras on it, and put a laptop connected to it, fire up your Zoom session, and now this is doing speaker tracking while the teacher is moving from the chalkboard to the desk to the whiteboard, and they're moving around and it's actually following, and it's got 6 microphones that are canceling out the noise behind it. So any students talking in a hybrid environment that are behind the camera, they're completely unheard to the remote side that's participating from the far end. And again, here's some YouTube links so you can go check that out. Really an amazing solution for the education space. If I'm going to summarize this by saying that the most success that we're seeing comes in bundling. So I'm offering packages of, hey, here's a phone and a headset and a camera and a work from home kit. Or I just want to send a client plus a headset. So I do a client headset offer for a work from home. The coolest one that I saw, a couple of our partners are doing this where they're actually managing the router as well. So they'll do a managed router with a Wi-Fi on it, plus the phone, plus the headset, plus the camera. It just comes pre-configured. The user unboxes it and starts working on it. And what a great setup. We're also seeing universities buy these for their faculty and things like that. So really cool ideas that we're seeing out there in the marketplace. Now, challenge number 2 is cost and liquidity, right? So this is where we're going to offer our device as a service to you so that you can offer OpEx options to your customer without impacting your cash flow. So today, what normally happens is you go to your bank account and you say, look, how much can I fund, right? How many devices can I fund and then get a rental out to my clients? And the problem is you can burn through cash really quickly. And in today's economy, that's a really sketchy and dangerous thing to do. So what we've done is we've created device as a service, Poly DaaS. So here's how it works. Oh, actually, let me point this out too. This is cool. So Recon Research did a study after the pandemic started, and they talked to businesses about what's the most important thing to you today and getting your business back up and running. And hardware as a service was the #1 thing that they came back. Their clients were saying, I need OpEx. I can't spend cash. Give me a full OpEx offer. So here's what our DaaS does. Oops, sorry, went one too far. It's a pure rental to you as a service provider, okay? Rental to you, not to your customer. Then you get to decide how you go to market. Am I going to bundle my hardware and just call it all a service? You get one line item number. We're going to charge you $39.99 for the client and your phone and the headset and the whole package. It's just one number. That's all you pay. Or you could break it out and do line items and say, well, I'm going to charge a rental fee for the hardware, and then I'm going to do the service fee for the software. It's up to you. You go to market however you want. But the cool thing is it's being rented to you. So now you can turn around and mark it up to your customer. Now there's no term. So this is really cool. If you're going with your customers and you're saying, look, I want to do a 1-year term. I want to do no term. I want to go month to month. It really doesn't matter. You get to dictate how you go to market. We bundle in on our phones a 7-year advanced replacement warranty. So if the device goes bad at any point throughout the service, you send it back. New one comes next day from Poly. Before we even receive it, it's there next day. We also do a 3-year replacement on the headset. So we're doing rentals on headsets and phones. And what you want to look at is just compare it, right? So in scenario 1, this is probably what you're doing today. You buy a $100 phone, you sell it for 110. Whippy, I made 10 bucks. Problem is installation got delayed. And then once we were up and running, then there was a delay on our billing out to the customer, and then they slow paid us. So the chances are you're out of cash for as much as 60 to 90 days from the time that you paid for the device. Now compare that to device as a service. Same $100 phone, we're renting it to you for $2.85 a month. Let that sink in. $100 phone, your cost, $2.85 a month. Now, immediately, what could you rent that for? Probably $5. So now you're making $2.15 a month on that device. Over the course of a standard 36-month contract, you've made $77 using somebody else's money to do that. This really makes sense. And we've got very large providers that have used this to enable various different options. So when you compare the two, clearly number 2 makes a lot more sense, especially under the current market environment. Here's what it might look like. I get a VVX 250 and a great Encore Pro 320, a nice kit to send home. Your cost, $5.12 a month. what could you rent that for? 10 bucks easily. If you've got a $24.99 UCaaS offer, could you offer it for $39.99 with the hardware included? We're seeing that this is going over really well with customers. So how do you get started? First, you got to become a partner. We're going to talk about how to become a partner in just a minute. You need to qualify, and roughly we're looking for partners that can do around 100 units a month, right, as a ballpark, just to give you an idea of kind of how big do I have to be to qualify for DaaS. So if you can do around 100 units a month of hardware, and that could be 50 phones and 50 headsets or 100 phones, whatever, somewhere in that vicinity, then you can qualify for this. And then you just get with us and we set you up, submit your financials, and then you're up and running. So challenge number 3, unpredictable home networks. And this one's a disaster, but you want to mitigate risk and you want to be able to troubleshoot. I come from a troubleshooting world. I cut my teeth in telecom and troubleshooting. And the one thing I know is the more points of view that you have, the more likely you are to solve a problem and identify it, right? It's all perspective. If I see smoke here, there's probably a fire, right? But if I can't see the smoke, I got a problem. So challenge number 3 is all about perspective. And so what we're doing is we've got PDMS SP. It's a mouthful and I get razzed for it all the time, but it means Poly Device Management Service for service providers. All right, Poly Device Management Service for service providers. So what is it? Check it out. I'm going to give you a movie, right? You had me at remote PCAP. So Jerry Maguire is there, and the scene starts, right? Cuba Gooding Jr. and Tom Cruise are talking. They're in the knock, and Cuba says, "Man, why is their call quality so dang bad?" Tom Cruise responds, "Well, I can't be sure, but I bet it's their crappy LAN." Meanwhile, we flash over to the customer, and we see this insanity, right? Wires everywhere, complete disaster. And what are they saying? Damn service providers, they're always blaming it on me. They're always blaming it on my LAN, right? We know that LANs can cause a lot of problem, but how do you prove it? So here he is screaming it, show me the bleeping PCAP. If you don't know what a PCAP is, it's a packet capture. Now in a packet capture, what's happening is every frame of video that you're hearing, every syllable that I'm saying is encapsulated in a little tiny TCP, a little packet. And it's going over the internet and they get reassembled on the far end, and then you see video, you hear audio, and so on. But also inside of those little packets is information about what button was pressed on the phone and did somebody click this or that. All of that information is captured in the packet. So when we're troubleshooting, being able to look at the packets and analyze it with tools like Wireshark is extremely valuable. So when I say you had me at remote PCAP, what I'm saying is we can give you the PCAP. So next time they ask you for it, you've got it. So what do? We give you a centrally managed ability to go in, run that packet capture, get the call analytics. What was the MOS, the mean opinion score on a call yesterday at noon? We can tell you. We can tell you whether there was packet loss or delay on the call yesterday. We can do a remote reboot. I can't tell you how many times we've been asked to just do something as simple as a remote reboot. Live config updates, syslog, APIs, zero touch provisioning, all of this handled in here. So what does it look like? Here's the Viirtue Cloud today, and you use it to program the devices, right? That doesn't change. What we're doing is we're coming across and we're saying we're adding a secondary cloud access that'll get you access to the device. Now, what's the device doing? It's phoning home to Poly over an HTTPS port, right? Just like you would to go surf a bank site. And then it encrypts that with a TLS tunnel. And now if you log into that cloud hosted on Amazon in the USA, by the way, some of our competitors have a similar solution, but it's hosted in China, government-run company in China. But here, hosted in the US, you're able to log into that portal and you're now able to run all of those different tools and tests and analytics and so on. Here's all the different devices that you can do it with. It's all of our VVX, all of our ATAs, and all of our Trio devices. So how do I get this? first become a partner, you just go to partners.poly.com. Click on that, click apply, fill in and submit your application. And in 2 days, you'll be asked to accept terms and conditions. That's it, you're a partner. You don't have to spend anything. There are zero financial commitments to being a partner. When you do that, you're gonna connect with a Poly rep, and they're gonna be able to get you access to PDM SSP by emailing our support team. They'll set it up, then you add your devices and you're off to the races. There's a little XML script that you add to your configurations. This is all it looks like. It's really simple. You just put in your custom account code and you're off to the races. And what does Cuba think about that? As he gets his Oscar, he wants to thank Poly for the PCAP. So good stuff. All right, quick summary here, and then hopefully we'll have a chance for a question or two. Again, employee productivity and satisfaction, we've got the devices. Cost and liquidity, we've got the devices as service. Unpredictable home networks, we've got PDM SSP. So this is the way we're gonna help you go to market. One other thing I wanna throw in is we do have a great promo right now. So this is an end customer rebate. Just like when you go buy a tire and they give you a rebate, we've got a rebate for your customer. They fill this out, they submit it to Poly, we send them cash. This helps you close business. So if you need to get hold of this, you can also get this on our partner page. Our reps can get you this document, but it's really simple. They go in online, they show the invoice of the services that they purchased, they fill it in, and then we're gonna send them cash, up to 200 phones and 200 headsets, and we'll send these cash values per device. So I mean, think about that. You know, you got 100 phones with a $40 rebate, and that's $4,000 right there. That's a really nice rebate. So check out the rebate, but let's jump to Q&A. I know we've just got a couple of minutes, but let's try this out. I don't know if we've got anything up yet, but I also wanna, while we're doing that, our team contact is right here. So if you wanna snap that, and again, we're gonna give you this. The last thing I'll point out while we're waiting to see if anybody's got anything is new partner promo. Sign up to be a partner with Poly. We'll send you $500 worth of gear. So we'll send you just 500 bucks, and it's real simple. You go to that partners.poly.com, sign up, click apply. You want to note that you're a Viirtue partner. In the application, there's a place for the reference code. You just put Viirtue partner in there, and we'll be able to know that you were here at this and or collecting on your $500 worth of stuff. So
Well,
Lee, I don't know if we've got anything. Dan, yeah, jump in.
We have a couple questions, but just because we're short on time, we'll just run through just hopefully the quickest. One of them that just came through was, is hardware rental available in Canada? Or is it just US?
It is.
Awesome. And then one of the other questions we got is if they are not doing 100 devices a month, if it's more like 50 devices a month, is that too small to qualify for that device as a service program?
We're going to look at the business case. You know, it's kind of a ICB. Show us what you've got. Show us what you're doing on growth. The other thing we can do is leasing in the interim. So there's a leasing program that has a lower requirement. And so that might be a good option for you as well.
Cool. And then a couple others came in. Guys, we'll try and, if we can't get them answered just because we're quickly running out of time, we'll definitely connect you with Darren directly so you can answer these questions. One person said if they're already a partner, do they still qualify for this partner promo with the free gear?
Talk to us. Give us a call. I'm sure we can get you some free gear.
Cool. And then also one other person asked, what's the time frame after leasing hardware? How quickly can they get that in their hands? And I probably can answer this for you, Darren. That's most likely going to be a question for distributions. Whoever you're purchasing the gear from is probably going to answer that, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah, your purchasing flow doesn't change. The only thing that changes is you're sending who do you bill to, right? Today, when you buy from the distributor, when you place an order, you're saying bill to me. Tomorrow, when you add the DAS, you'll be able to do both. You'll still be able to buy traditional equipment, but you can also send a bill to my finance partner. And then what the distributor does is they send you the bill for the stuff you bought, and they send the finance partner the bill for the stuff that they're going to buy. They consolidate that and then send you a rental, and they pay for your invoice. So that's the way that works. You don't change distributors. Everything works the same. So all of our distributors know how to enable the DAS program.
Perfect. All right, guys. Yeah, thank you so much, Darren. Thank you, John. It was a pleasure. Another couple questions just popped in here, guys. Sorry we ran out of time here today. We'll try and pad an extra 15 minutes or so on the next one so we can get through some Q&A. But we'll have a note of all these questions and we'll try and get them addressed directly for you. But again, thank you so much, Darren. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And thank you guys all for joining us today. And we look forward to joining you guys on the December webinar. Like I said, we're going to have near links on there. We also have another special surprise guest too. So definitely look out for that registration invite, and have a great rest of your week, folks.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.